hello, 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 Rahul, 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 hello.
Please come and sit forward. If once session started, no, then you need to come, I think. So please come and sit forward, little forward.
A very good afternoon, everyone. So today we have UPSC CSE topper Anupriya Sakya with us, all India rank 120. So please give her a big round of applause. Thank you. Yeah. So how do we know Anupriya? Like she used to come for mock interviews, and she had taken step up mains. I think last year, before 22 she had taken. And then through self-study, she worked hard. In second attempt, she got IPS, and this attempt, she is getting IAS. Right. She has scored 126 marks in the essay paper, which is a very high score this year. 119 in the ethics paper, 114 in GS2, 90 in GS1, and 89 in GS3. So they are all very good scores this year. So GS overall score is very good, including the essay paper. And interview also she got 187. So 187, that is also a very good score. So she is going to share her experience, mainly how she got good marks. She got good marks in GS in the last attempt also. So as far as I understand, it was public administration, which kind of stopped her from getting, let's say, top 10 or top 50. Maybe if you had scored 280 in PubAd, definitely, right? So PubAd held her back. I think she's going to share all her experience. So it's a pleasure that she has come here to deliver this talk, especially for those who are concerned about the mains examination. But definitely she is going to share how she cracked prelims in all her attempts, and strategy for prelims as well as mains, and also throw light on the interview preparation also. So once again, welcome Anupriya. Thank you so much.
Hello. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anupriya Sakya, and this attempt I've secured All India rank 120, hopeful of getting into the Indian Administrative Service. A little about me. I have completed my BE Civil Engineering from RV College of Engineering in the year 2021. After that, I started my UPSC preparation, gave my first attempt in the year 2022, but despite reaching the interview stage, I couldn't get my name on the PDF. I missed out by 6 marks. And in my second attempt, I wrote again, and I secured an All India rank of 631. Again, missed IAS by 6 marks. And then again, I applied for extraordinary leave from IPS, and then I wrote third attempt. And fortunately, I've got a good rank this year, and so I'm hopeful of getting into the Indian Administrative Service. And with regards to Insights, I have been associated with Insights mainly for interview guidance program. And sir always believed that I had the potential to get 190 plus. And fortunately, I've reached somewhere close to 190 in my third attempt. I've secured 187, decent score. And regarding my preparation, I would want to tell that after my graduation in the year 2021, let me tell you, I come from a very humble background. I have no bureaucratic background whatsoever. I'm the first generation to have even chosen to prepare for UPSC and to clear UPSC. Because of that, I wanted some sort of guidance, and that is why I enrolled myself to a coaching. I took online coaching from Rao's IAS Study Circle. I took online and I did all my preparation from my home. I stay somewhere close to Hesarghatta, Naksandra metro station. But despite coming from Bangalore, I did not come to Chandra layout. I did all my preparation from home. My test series, mock tests, even my interview preparation, as in I used to discuss with my friends through Google Meet. So entirely I have done it from home. And throughout my preparation, what has worked for me is I have looked at numerous topper strategy on YouTube. That is how I have learned from what mistakes they did, which I should not commit again, and what worked for them, which I could borrow and adopt it in my strategy. So by doing this session, my only intention is to give back to the society. I'm sure there might be some Anupriyas out there who are seeking help, who are not having guidance. So my only intention is to help you guys in some little way and make myself useful. That being said, we'll start with the session, I suppose. Could we have the PPT, please? ಮೂರು PDF ಇದೆ, ಮೂರು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. How many of you are writing mains this year? No one? Okay, the new batch. Oh, okay. So ಇನ್ನೊಂದು PDF ಇರಬೇಕು, additional toppers top ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು. You have a additional. Oh yeah. Relive. Okay. Eraser? Okay. Next slide. Okay. This. Okay. So we'll start. This is my mark sheet. So 126 essay, GS1 is 94, GS2 is 114, GS3 is 89, GS4 119, optional 122, 128, total is 792, personality is 187. More than this, I would want you guys to look at this. In my first attempt, my essay was 85. Okay. In this attempt, I've got 126. GS1 again 94. I'll tell you what made me increase by 11 marks. And GS2 I've constantly got more than 110 because one, my optional was public administration. GS3 in my second attempt I've got 92. GS4 again constantly good marks, past 2 attempts 118 and 119. Okay, this will be our outline for today. I'll tell you how each GS paper is different. There is a misconception that across all GS paper, we have to adopt one writing style, but that is not true. Every GS paper has a different approach. I'll let you know how. And how to do value additions in each paper, what were my sources, how to fetch those additional brownie points, how I used ChatGPT for my UPSC mains answer writing, and lastly, it is going to be a lengthy session. So yeah. This, I'll tell you the general approach, how to attempt the paper. So, we know there's 10 questions, 10 marker, 10 questions, 15 marker. Gottidella? So, generally what happens is, students start attempting 15 marker question. They start writing 15 marker and then they come back to 10 marker question. But I did that in my first attempt. I was not able to finish my paper. Completing the paper is non-negotiable. So I adopted Mehak Jain ma'am's strategy. So how I attempted is, first I used to do 1 to 5 questions of 10 marker. I used to do this. This would take me around 35 minutes. After that, I used to attempt the 15 marker, because mind you, you cannot skip a 15 marker question. The loss is immense. You have to write all the 15 marker questions. So after this, I used to do my 15 marker questions. And then after doing this, I used to come back to questions 6 to 10, 10 marker. Understood? And initially when the question paper is distributed, we'll somewhere have around 5 to 3 minutes where we only read the question paper, right? There what I did is, I used to do brainstorming for questions 6, 7, 8. I could only do 6, 7, 8. The benefit of doing brainstorming is, at the end, irrespective of what your answer writing practice is, you'll always find that you are not able to complete the paper in time. So if you have already done your brainstorming for 6, 7, 8 questions, you'll save time there and you'll easily be able to do your 10 markers and eventually complete all your 10 marker questions and eventually complete your paper. So this strategy I used in my second attempt and third attempt. All my GS papers and optional paper, I was able to do it. I was able to complete it. So try adopting, and whatever I'm telling you today, please take it with a pinch of salt. This has worked for me. This might not work for you. So please try it, then see it for yourself, and then replicate it. Understood? And next is, you guys should ideally have notes on every topic in the syllabus. Every keyword in the syllabus, you guys should have at least 2-pager notes. And then, if you people are writing mains, you must have a pre-prepared intro and conclusion for every theme in the previous year question. For example, say suppose it's GS3 and it's economy, we have a theme called food processing sector and MSME. We have questions repeatedly every year. So you people should have an introduction and conclusion ready for any question on food processing. By doing this, the benefit is that every year we'll find bouncer questions across GS papers. If you're able to save time using your pre-prepared intro and conclusion, you'll be able to tackle your bouncer questions well. Henceforth, this is important. You need to have intro and conclusion ready for all themes in the previous year question. Next is at least practice one question from every theme of PYQs if you're writing mains this year. Again, 5 questions every day needs to be written. Answer writing becomes very important between prelims and mains. So do 5 questions, GS papers every day. Next is, if you want your name in the PDF, target essay, GS4 and optionals. Because GS papers, all of us write the same content. Maximization of marks happens in essay, GS4 and optional paper. Next is I'll also tell you how to identify low-hanging fruits in every GS paper, and then you have to make your paper unique, because mains is also a relative marking. Your paper should be different from that of others, and how to incorporate that uniqueness I'll be telling you. Okay. This I took it from YouTube from Sachin Arora sir. This I had taken for optional, but it is also applicable in GS paper. There is again a misconception that every question we'll have to write in the same way. Keywords, we are not taking it seriously, but every keyword has a different approach. For optional, this is going to be important. See, if the keyword is enlist, list down, or enumerate, there is no need to write why not aspect or negative aspect of the question. Whatever the question is, address the question, more than sufficient. In the question which has the keyword of describe or elaborate, you'll have to explain what the question is and just a little bit of why not aspect. If the question is in the positive tone, identify a negative aspect, just a little cover it, and then do your conclusion. The third theme is explain and elucidate. Explain early, you'll have to give deeper analysis. You'll have to have your facts, figures, reasons, case studies, everything, so that you are explaining whatever the question is. The next is examine. Many questions are discuss, analyze, or examine. Many questions have these keywords. Again, you'll do the same thing what you did for explain, but stress a little on your why not, how not, and some negative aspect, something other than what the question is asking. Next is comment. This I used in my optional paper. When the keyword is comment, the examiner is ideally looking at what your opinion is. So there, you could also write in your conclusion that I concur with whatever the question is. If you do not concur, write I do not agree or something. Before doing that, what I did in my optional paper is, it could also be done in your GS paper. Write comment in the conclusion and then start writing your conclusion. For example, I concur or something like that. By writing comment, you're telling the evaluator that yes, I have addressed what the keyword is. I have given due recognition to the keyword. So this worked for me in my public administration. You could also do it in your GS paper. I've done for some questions. Why is this happening? Okay. Is this clear? I'll move the slide. Okay, sorry. Idu GS1, the syllabus, all of us are aware. World history, most of us have no prepared notes. If you have no notes, no problem. 2 days more than sufficient to make notes on world history, industrial revolution, etc. Otherwise, we have Topper's copy available. Just use Topper's copy for world history. See, when I told you low-hanging fruits in every GS paper, in GS1, it's your society part. These are generally ignored by aspirants, but we can maximize the marks in society questions. So, do your society well. Okay, now addressing first paper, history paper. History has always been tough for me. I have increased 11 marks in GS1 paper. I'll tell you what I did right this attempt. When we are talking about history paper, you will have to mention date, timeline, and if diagram is applicable, draw a diagram. For example, there is a question on Vijayanagara Empire. ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿ draw some Vijayanagara Empire, show what the extent of Vijayanagara Empire is. And then maybe if you know important places in Vijayanagara Empire, just show it on the map, right? And again, examples after every point in history paper needs to be there. Pre-prepared intro and conclusion. It is very easy to identify themes in the GS1 paper. Do it. Every theme in history paper have a prepared intro and conclusion. For example, we'll have a question on Gandhian faith. We'll have a question on early nationalists. So these are easily identifiable. So prepare your intro and conclusion for these themes. For conclusion, what I did is, see, history, we can divide it into modern history, art and culture, and ancient, right? Modern history, all of you have read Spectrum. If you read Spectrum carefully, you'll find quotes of different freedom fighters or thinkers. So use those quotes in your conclusion. If I had to give an example, you say, suppose there's a question on early nationalists. Spectrally, there is a quote by Bipan Chandra where he says that early nationalists sow the seeds of nationalism very deep and well. Can this be a conclusion? And this will earn you brownie points. Otherwise, what all other aspirants do is, we just write henceforth in total, this is our conclusion. But if you're quoting a thinker, a famous personality like Bipan Chandra, the evaluator is forced to give you 0.25 marks extra. So identify your quotes from Spectrum, and also I selectively read Bipan Chandra Modern History. Bipan Chandra Modern History, you'll find facts and figures. I'll show it to you. So this was my sources for modern history. Art and culture. In conclusion, if there is a question on art and culture, I used to try and link the question to the new parliament building, because new parliament building has many features from our art and culture. So is there a possibility to link it? If there is a possibility, my conclusion generally would be linking the question to the new parliament building and saying henceforth it is relevant or something like that. For my ancient, if there's a question on ancient and medieval period, there is a book called Golden Road by William. In that, he is told that how Indian civilization was able to influence the world or other civilization. Henceforth, ancient India is very important, Anta. So my conclusion generally for ancient India would be that Golden Road book by William. I used to quote it. So this is how you do value additions in history. For art and culture, I refer to Gautam Vivekanandan sir's notes. It's available on Telegram, his Telegram channel. And Topper's answer copy, whatever mains answer writing I have learned is by Topper's answer copy. Go through Topper's answer copy, analyze it, decode it, break it. There is no better teacher than Topper's answer copies. Please go through your Topper's answer copy. For GS1, I refer to Shruti Sharma ma'am's copy. Very, very beautiful. Please look at her answer copies. Okay, I'll show you the notes. How do I scroll? Okay, okay, thank you. So, you find some facts and figures here. Kanistidya, 26%, 5.8 million anta. These facts I found from Bipan Chandra sir's modern history book. So these were my value additions wherever possible, because there is very little scope for facts and figures in your history paper, is it? So wherever it is possible, I used to write facts and figures, and by quotes, see, I've made a note of this. Poet Nabhan Sen said, Battle of Plassey was a night of eternal gloom for India. If there was a question on Battle of Plassey, this would be either my introduction or conclusion. So this is how you prepare. Okay. This is one sample answer. Aita, evaluate the nature of bhakti lit. Another thing is, in your question, break the question as much as possible. The more you break the question, the more dimensions you'll get. And if you address different dimensions, the evaluator is at least forced to give you 1 mark per dimension. That is how you increase your marks. So evaluate the nature of bhakti literature and its contribution to Indian culture. This could be one question. I could have addressed it in a single paragraph, but I broke it to nature of bhakti literature becomes one dimension and its contribution to Indian culture is other dimensions. And please do not write too much. ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬರೀರಿ. Address the question in as little words as possible. The more you make it easier for the evaluator, the more marks he or she will give you. So this is my first dimension, nature of bhakti literature. Every point, there's an example. After every point, you'll see it. See? This is the second dimension. Again, every point, there's an example. Also, look, I've not taken many words. I've not used unnecessary words. Write as little as possible. And this is how your art and culture needs to be done. Identify important kingdoms. We have Vijayanagara kingdom, Gupta, Maurya. Yella kingdom ge, you'll have to have what is their contribution in art, architecture and literature. These are the keywords given in your syllabus. So for every kingdom, you should have the art, architecture, literature contribution. This is one example. Gupta art and architecture, see, I've made a note of the timeline. And then examples, caves, Yenenittu, stupas, sculpture. Every point should have examples. Temple architecture, what was their contribution? Coins. And this is art. We found art and then it's literature. These are just short notes, more than sufficient. You have to do this for all important kingdoms. Identify the kingdoms from your previous year questions. And this is Gupta sculpture. Ashte. For every kingdom, do it. Yeah, this is done. Next is the low-hanging fruit society. How do we do it? Introduction, again, I did not start conventional method. Definition, I generally tried avoiding definition. I used to use quotes or a data or any current affair aspect. If I could link it to it, yenu sikkilla andre, I used to go for definition. And then intro ali, I had no quote, I used to put it in my conclusion. If there is a quote in introduction, I used to skip it. Society, I've made use of many quotes. I'll show it to you. And this is how body should be. Body, again, every point substantiated with examples. Examples, data, indices. If it's possible, write. Do not shy away from putting facts and figures in your paper. That is how you do your value addition. In 15 markers, for society paper, I used to write government schemes and case study. So I'll tell you 10 markers. Wait. So 10 markers, you write intro, body. Ideally have 2 dimensions in body. 5 points here, 5 points here. If you have scope to write way forward, write way forward. Otherwise, conclusion alle, write your way forward. This is how you address 10 marker question. 15 marker, again, intro. Between intro and my body, I generally used to have some connector. This could be a sun diagram, itara. I used to do something like that. Or it would be some flow chart like this. I'll show it to you. I have examples. This would be a connector between intro and body. Body, again, 2 dimensions. And then, if there is a possibility to address why not aspect in questions like critically examine, etc., why not baritidde? Some 3 points, say suppose, then way forward, and then conclusion. If there is no possibility to write why not, if there is a possibility to write government schemes or initiatives, I used to draw the sun diagram, itara government initiative, draw sun. This way, I used to do my 15 marker. Understood? Yeah, these were my sources. If you are a sociology student, please use your sociology wala knowledge in your society paper. Do not overdo it, but you can use it. And again, toppers copy, Shruti Sharma ma'am, please go through it. Okay, see, there's a topic poverty, GS1 only. Poverty, generally we go with definitions for introduction. What I used to do is, Amartya Sen, there's a quote, poverty is not just lack of money, it is not having the capability to realize one's potential. So I used to write this, according to Amartya Sen, poverty idu. This would be my introduction. So this is something different from what others write. All others will write the definition. I'm doing something different. I'm quoting Amartya Sen. So evaluator will be like, I'll give her 0.25 marks extra. And then in conclusion, society, as I told you, I used to use quotes. I used to use poverty is the worst form of violence according to Mahatma Gandhi ji. Otherwise, quote your SDG. It is SDG 1, zero poverty. So I used to do this for conclusion. I'll show you some. So these were my facts. There is a keyword, woman anta. Look at the facts, examples, everything. This was my short notes, woman. I used to use it for society, social justice, if possible in ethics, optional, polity, every paper, wherever I could use it. You'll find global gender gap index, gender inequality index, ILO gender pay gap. What have they said? These are some examples. Domestic violence, what does NFHS5 say? These were my facts. Okay, this is a history example. Do your PYQs. Please do your PYQs. Okay, this is a question on urbanization. I don't know if it's visible. So I've written the definition, and then see, I told you about connector. I used to do something between introduction and body. This was my connector. This is the statistics of urbanization in India. What is the projected population in the urban towns? I've also quoted the report from where I've taken it, World Bank data. So this is a 15 marker. Again, Nodi. Okay, wait. I'll tell you the question. Does urbanization lead to more segregation or marginalization of the poor in Indian metropolis? This is the question. Okay. I did the connector. I'm explaining the question. How was it affecting and segregating people? Every point, there is data, there's example. Point, example. See examples. And here comes the other dimension. I am telling not necessarily, not always is it segregating or marginalizing people. See benefits of urbanization, gig economy, employment opportunities. Again, examples. And this I've quoted NSO survey. This is addressing the other part of the question which is not explicit in the question itself. And then steps taken by government, the sun diagram regarding urbanization, way forward. And this is again quote. How did I get quote? I used ChatGPT, random Googling. This is urban theorist, what he says about the cities. cities, and then I've quoted SDG also. Clear? Got an idea how to approach 15 markers? Yeah. Yeah. So newspapers are very, very important. Between prelims and mains, ideally everyone should read newspaper. From newspapers, you'll get case studies, example, facts, and figures. This is exclusively what I got from newspapers. I used to make online notes. So this is regarding women. All of these I've got it from newspaper. Say, suppose there's a question on female labor force participation. I used to use what Claudia Golden said. This used to be my conclusion. When I quote a Nobel laureate, I am trying to attract or capture the attention of the evaluator. That, see, I've put something in my answer. Please give me those additional marks. These were some keywords that I used to use, social entrepreneurship, etc. It'll take time for me to get used with this. Yeah. Okay. Society is clear? Next comes geography. Geography, please write your diagrams, illustrations, figures. If you do not have all of these, examiner, the evaluator will not give you marks. I did not do it in my first attempt. I scored very badly in my GS1. In my third attempt, I did this. Geography, wherever possible, put an illustration, put a diagram, because it's a geography paper. You'll have to do it. Again, introduction would ideally be definition or some report or any current development. Body, again, every point, you should have fact, figure, data. And geography paper, these days, we are finding that questions are being clubbed. There is an interdisciplinary approach. Geographically, they're asking you economy aspect also. And they're asking you environment aspect also. So do not just write the geographical definition barbari. If there is a scope to put your economy, facts and figures, try and link it. I did not do it, but I learned this from a friend of mine, this year again topper. There was a question on aurora borealis in GS1, if you guys have seen it. See, generally all of us write that there is an interaction of electrons, magnetosphere of Earth interacts. We draw a diagram and come off. What my friend did is, he also drew how the electron is getting excited to the other state. He used his 10th wala, PUC wala, whatever knowledge it is, some science basis, he wrote the diagram and he scored very well in GS1. If there is a provision to use whatever you have studied in your college or school, write it down. Put it in the answer paper. This will bring the innovation, uniqueness into your answer copies. This is again how I used to collect data from newspapers. This is about bomb cyclone. Conclusion, even if the question is in the negative tone for geography, conclusion should be positive, optimistic always. And if you find no conclusion for geography, put your SDG, climate change, SDG number, so on and so on. These were my sources. I did my class notes. PMF IAS, we have textbook for geography. Current affairs, again, do your newspapers very well. Mains 365 Vision IAS environment material. This was my base for geography and environment. And diagrams from some topper, I don't remember, but I'd seen it on Telegram channel, so I'd use that. Topper's answer copy referred to any geography optional topper wala GS1 answer copy. Yeah. See, society, I forgot showing it to you. There's a topic called regionalism. This is my short notes. My introduction would ideally be again this thing. India is a Thali model. This definition I borrowed from Shruti Sharma ma'am's answer copy. So if you do your toppers answer copy analysis, half your notes will be prepared there only. You'll find direct content which can be copied and pasted in your answer copy. So this again, positive and negative impact I've addressed here. This is my short notes. And then this is a pre-prepared conclusion. Regionalism is a double-edged sword. It must be ensured that regionalism complements national interests and not turns to be anti-national. Any question on regionalism, either conclusion bartide. Because I had pre-prepared intro and conclusion, I used to save time. This is my geography short notes. Again, see, you'll find diagrams everywhere. See it? Do your diagrams and illustrations very well. Okay, moving on. World history, I'm sorry to tell you, I did not have notes. I used some toppers answer copy, and world history, one there questions barutte. So if you do not have notes, no, use any toppers copy. It's available on Telegram channels. All of you join toppers Telegram channels as much as possible. They are uploading their notes. Use their notes directly. Okay, coming to paper GS2. Do we have any doubts from GS1? Any doubts? No doubts? GS2, this is our syllabus. Low-hanging fruits, which is generally ignored, but we should focus on it to get those brownie points, is your governance and social justice. Do it well. You'll get the additional 0.25 marks per question. This again, NGOs, SHGs, pressure groups, etc. Aram se you can make notes. Make notes from toppers answer copy. Can be easily done, and these themes are repeated every year. You'll have to do your PYQs analysis. Do your PYQs very well before even trying to write an answer. Do your PYQs. Do your toppers answer copy analysis. Again, this is again from GS1, poverty and hunger. You'll find it in GS1 also. If you have made notes in GS1, you can use the same thing for GS2. These are your low-hanging fruits. Do one-page notes at least. Citizen charter, your governance, transparency, accountability. One-page notes, you can use it in your GS4 paper also. But do it. Okay, coming to polity and governance. Sources, Lakshmikant, we are aware of Lakshmikant, and newspapers, very important. Newspapers, by newspapers, what I mean to say is, in your editorials, etc., you'll find Supreme Court judgments. Try and make a note of it separately, your Supreme Court judgments and also observations of Supreme Court and CGI. Example, I found a quotation by CGI, former CGI Chandra that we find a topic, basic doctrine structure in polity. All of us are aware. CGI Chandra said that basic doctrine structure is our North Star. That is how it gives direction to our democracy. So this would be my conclusion. So do your newspapers well. Identify whatever is possible which can be used in your GS papers. Toppers answer copy, please look at Akshat Jain sir's answer copy and Vishaka Yadav ma'am's answer copy. My notes on SHG, pressure group, citizen charter, directly from Vishaka Yadav ma'am's answer copy. Do it. Again, I told you, introduction, connector, body, dimensions, conclusion. I'll show the, okay, see. These borrowed from newspaper. This is how you should be doing your newspaper. Different cases. Again, see, for example, there's a question on civil society. Pooja Ketkar case back then was making news. And why it became a national attention? Because of civil society, the outcry of civil society. That is how UPSC took notice. So put this example if you have a question on civil society. See, the one advantage of putting your current affairs in your answer is the evaluator also, they would have studied the newspaper, right? Evaluator studies the newspaper. If you write something that the evaluator has already read in the news, there will be a connect between you and the evaluator. He'll give interest in reading your answer because he knows something that you have written. So that is how extra marks can be gained. Everything from newspaper and toppers answer copy. And if you're writing your mains test series, if any one of you have enrolled for it, many coaching institutes, they also give best answer copies anta they ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. Go through it, see how your colleague is doing differently than you. Is there some point that you can use? Learn from others, learn from toppers answer copy, and that is how you bring those value addition in your news in your answer copies. I'll show you the okay, see. Idu topic, basic structure doctrine. These are my cases. Kesav Nanda Bharti case, Raj Naren case, Minerva Mills case, SR Bommai case. And remember I told you connector between introduction and body, I used to put a connector. If there was a question on basic doctrine structure, I'll show it to the evaluator how it is evolved over time. First we had Shankari Prasad case, Golaknath case, Kesav Nanda Bharti case. That is how it evolved and kept evolving. 1994 we had SR Bommai case. Something like this should be your connector in your polity. And this is my short notes, how I used to make notes. Again, a question on federalism. This used to be my connector. Between 1950 to 1967, one-party federalism, consensual federalism. 1967, 1990s, conflictive federalism. 1990s, 2014, multi-party coalition. 2014, Nantra, dominant party. Something like this would be my connector. Okay, see. In your polity paper, no? Polity questions, you will have to put your article numbers, judgments, cases that are renowned. If you do not put your article number, why will evaluator give you marks? It is a polity question. You'll have to put it. This is about judicial activism. Again, I have a connector. These are my articles, if you are able to see constitutionally. Article 13, 32, 143. Again, relating to judicial activism. I'll show you another also. So this would also be my connector, if not the flow chart. Constitutional provisions in for judicial activism. What are the article numbers? Do your constitution again very well. Article 13, 32, 142, 129. Understood? Okay, this is economy. Oh, okay. Yeah. Coming to IR. IRLE, I did not have proper notes. I used Wasim Bhatt Sir's notes. Go to his Telegram channel. You'll find notes for GS2. Very beautiful. IR, I directly used notes from Wasim Bhatt Sir. And again, Mehak Jain ma'am's notes selectively I've used, and newspaper. Newspaper, very, very important for IR. Toppers answer copy only. Please go through Ishita Kishore ma'am's answer copy. Okay, now. IR question mostly are current affairs oriented. You'll have to put data, facts, figures, phrases, and quotation. Phrases only. See, if there is a question on bilateral ties between India and Nepal, we use the keyword that India and Nepal shares roti beti ka sambandh. If it's about India and China, I used to use the phrase, it is a elephant dragon tango anta. Took it from newspaper. Keywords like strategic autonomy, multilateralism, multipolar world, whatever you see the Minister of External Affairs using, or whatever you find in the newspaper, use those keywords, because when you use those keywords, it look like IR answer. How else are you going to differentiate polity, IR, governance answer? Polity, you're making it evident by putting article numbers, case studies. IR, you're making it evident that it is an IR paper by writing your keywords. Quotation only, whatever, say suppose Honorable Prime Minister has said about SEO or G20, if I could use it as a conclusion, I would use it. Again, what Minister of External Affairs has said, use it as conclusion. Apart from this, there are in the newspaper, you'll find editorials from Suhasini Haider ma'am, Raja Mohan, and Harsh V. Pant. They write for The Hindu and Indian Express, if I'm not wrong. If you find something that they have said, some fact that they have quoted, and you find it useful for your GS to IR answer, you write the fact, bracketally you put Suhasini Haider said this, or Harsh V. Pant said this. By doing this, again, you're capturing the attention of the evaluator. You're making your answer copy different from others. Please do it. I did it in my GS3 and GS2 in my third attempt. It worked for me. And how do you attempt the IR answer if you do not know it? ಏನು points ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರೆಸ್ತೀರಾ? So this is something, some mnemonic I came up with. STEM scope anta. S is strategic relation. Say suppose it's a question on say India-US ties. We'll have to generate points. How do we generate points? What is the strategic relation between India-US? Technologically, do we have any relation? What is the economic relation between India and US? What amount of trade are we doing with US? Next is multilateral cooperation. On what areas are we cooperating with US? Security, cultural, soft power influence ಏನಿದೆ ಅಮೆರಿಕ ಮೇಲೆ by India, and again organizations they are part of, and environment aspect. This will work for all your bilateral relations. Okay. Made a note of this thing. I'll change the slide. Be louder, guys. Okay. Okay. Conclusion again, like geography, even the question is in the negative tone, conclusion should be positive, optimistic. ಏನು ನನ್ನ conclusion ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I used to put this, driven by shared strategy and common interest. Very easy, Allah. It can be used for any question. So this used to be my conclusion. So these are some diagrams. This is about India-China. This is a string of pearls. And this is the tension areas across India-China border. And we had a bilateral visit of Honorable Prime Minister back then when I was studying. So what are the outcomes of it? I used to make online notes. If not online, make it in your diary. Have a separate notebook. Whatever your newspaper thing is, put it in your notebook. Okay. So this is again Wasim Bhatt sir. Bricks mele. You'll find notes, something like that. I used to make value additions to it. I've made some value additions there. These are value additions to the same notes. I use the same notes for IR. Okay, this is example. There was a development IMEC Kanta, if you guys are aware, India Middle Eastern Corridor, Economic Corridor. So this I've tried. See, first is definition, something related to IMEC. This is a 15 marker. IMEC the features no. This is my connector. This is also my connector. Proposed route of connectivity. Maybe my friends will not put a diagram here. I'm doing it. Maybe this will fetch me some additional marks. I used to do this, and then I used to address the question. Again, see, remember the STEM scope that I told you? Same thing I'm using. Geo-economic prospects there. Geopolitical, what is it? Geostrategical, what is it? Others. And then this is the concerns. This is not asked in the question. I'm doing it additionally because it is a 15 marker. I've addressed the concerns. After you've shown the concerns, you have to give solution. You are going to be policy makers of this country. You should be solution oriented. These are the problems and the ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. You have to tell problems these could be the solutions. If you're putting problems there, put your solutions also. Way forward and a conclusion. Social justice, same template of society. Whatever I used for society again was my source for social justice. That is how I test my answers also. Again, quotes, facts and figures, whatever is possible for society, social justice, I did the same thing. It's the same. Do we have doubts from GS2? Any doubts? No doubts? We'll take a break, some 5 minutes. It's going to be lengthy again. GS3, GS4 and your SC. 5 minutes we'll take break. Yes, sir. So why is this not page second in order? Slide wise, I want this a little up. I'm not able to scroll. Okay, thank you. Okay. We'll start. GS3, most difficult for engineers like me, economy, environment, security, disaster management, science and tech. GS3, what is different is write as many points as possible. Write as many as possible, especially in your economy paper. Do not shy away from writing points. Put your facts, figures, data, very, very important in your GS3. If you do not do it, it is very, very hard to score marks in GS3. What are the low-hanging fruits? Security, disaster management. Very easy to prepare. 3 days you can do security, disaster management. That easy, but you can maximize your scores in security and disaster management if you do it properly. Okay, my favorite economy. My nightmare actually. What? I scored very badly in my first attempt. So my second and third attempt, economy, data, data and data. Wherever possible, put it. Put your data, facts, figures, examples. And again, every paper you have to make it evident that you are addressing the subject. Economy, keywords. Instead of writing inequality, write Gini's coefficient. By this, you are putting it to the evaluator that, see, I'm writing an economy answer and not a general answer. Case studies, I had another, and committees, government schemes. 15 markers, you'll have to write government schemes for every theme of your economy paper and case studies. Economy paper, your previous year questions are at most significant. You can very easily identify themes in your economy paper. Identify the themes. For example, food processing sector. There is a question on agriculture every year. Forward, backward linkages. And then you have MSMEs, inclusive development. Some questions on something related to women labor force participation. Do your PYQs, very, very important for your GS3. These were my sources: class notes, newspapers, mains 365, economy, did it selectively, copied all my facts and figures from there. And toppers answer copy, look at Aishwarya Verma's answer copy. All India rank 3, very, very nicely written. You'll find how to address GS3 questions. He has given examples of many very good case studies, committee names, examples. Please refer to Aishwarya Verma Sir's answer copy before beginning your economy answer writing. While data, I meant this. Can you look at the data? This is only for unemployment. All these, I remembered all these. If there is a question on unemployment, I used to put data from this. Figures, put it. This is article number. If there is a provision, I used to put it. Do not shy away from doing anything in your answer copy. Anything different will fetch you marks. This is about gig economy. Again, see Niti Aayog report, borrowed from newspaper. Again, case study, I used to put Karnataka government safeguards for gig workers. This used to be my case study, or what way forward, this used to be my point. Again, prepared introduction and conclusion for every theme. These are some themes for your example. Yeah, no. For conclusion, no, in economy paper, ideally, there needs to be a specific conclusion for people like me who are unaware about what economy is. I used to put SDG or 5 trillion economy anta. Otherwise, I used to put Viksit Bharat or inclusive development. Some keyword I used to put, and this used to be my conclusion. The other way of addressing conclusion is, say suppose there's a question on agriculture. I used to use this sentence of Swaminathan, where he said that if agriculture goes wrong in this country, nothing else can go right. That is how significant agriculture is to India's economy. So I used to use that as conclusion for every question on agriculture. But use this conclusion only once. If you have 2 questions in the same paper, do not put the same conclusion. This would be disastrous. So one question, use. Okay, no problem. Okay, again, another thing which insights is for economy, no, 2 years current affairs are important. Bere varshad current affairs Allah. Last year, if you look at the GS3 wala questions, the questions were directly sourced from current affairs of the previous year. Varshadalla, previous year. So for economy, just skim through last year's current affairs also. Questions are directly asked from newspaper, especially economy part. Do your current affairs newspapers properly. Okay, I had another PDF. Innondide. Yeah. Idalla. I sent it to ma'am now. If you guys have doubts, please ask it. You can ask the questions in Kannada, Hindi, English. I also know Tamil and Telugu. So if you guys have doubts, no, please ask. Do not hesitate. So I'll show you one example. Question number 12. GS3, all of you will have to work a little harder than other GS papers because it is very difficult to fetch marks in GS3. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. This question, yeah. This is the question, my Abhyas answer copy 2023 attempt. See, in my introduction, I've put the data and also quoted the report, Niti Aayog. Something different than the definition. This is my connector. The question is about how agriculture and water scarcity are interlinked. This is my connector. Again, you'll find many data. This is my connector. Some innovation of diagram I've done. What are the water scarce region in the country? You have to practice how to draw India map within 2 seconds or something like that. Practice it, you'll get it. This is impacts of climate change, addressing the question. Again, data. The question is about micro irrigation, how it can be used, Janta. This is the definition, micro irrigation. And these are the points. Again, some small diagram illustration I've done. Again, data. Comparing drip irrigation and canal flood irrigation. this a committee's observation, Dalwai panel committee's observation pertaining to micro irrigation. Now, see, case study. I've done data, facts, figures. I've also put committee. I've put Dalwai panel's committee. I've also put a report, Niti Ayog. This is my case study. And this is my conclusion. Have I done all value additions? Will the evaluator not give me some 0.25 marks because I've put case study? Maybe my friend has not put. I've put Niti Ayog. I've put Dalwai panel. So do it. GS3, write as much as possible. Put everything that you know in the answer. Yeah. Facts I've shown you. Okay. Coming to environment. Environment, I did not have proper notes. My base notes was mains 365. Mains 365, do 2 years. Current mains 365 wala copy. Environment more than sufficient. This will be your base notes. To this, make your value additions. Value additions from your newspapers. Toppers answer copies. Please look at, these are this year's toppers. Amitej, Madhav Agarwal and Gigi. They write beautifully. Please look at their answer copies. Now, how do we address environment answers? Environment and geography has an overlap. So, in geography, I asked you to draw diagrams and illustrations. Do this for environment also. Put your diagrams, illustrations, flow charts. Again, data, reports, very important. These were some reports that I used to quote from Niti Ayog, WMO, UNEP, etc. Case studies, very important. Name of the committees for environment. We have numerous committees for environment. So use the committee's name, put it in your answers. Government schemes, again in 15 marker, put your government schemes. Way forward needs to be written in environment paper because the questions invariably is about climate change, global warming. These are the problems. So you'll have to address the solution aspect also. Put your way forward. Conclusion would generally be, again, optimistic, positive. If you find no conclusion, you cannot make up any conclusion. Write your SDG and end your conclusion. Make sense? Okay, I'll show you my online how I used to make. I have borrowed from newspapers and also toppers answer copy and also best answer copies of my friends and colleagues. See, this can be a conclusion for some question on global warming or climate change. There is hope for green tomorrow and attain Panchamrit target. What needs to be done can be written after this. See, this is positive. Green tomorrow, there is a hope. And I'm also quoting Panchamrit. You can also find facts and figures. See, facts. SDG 14 I've quoted. If there is a question on oceans, I used to put SDG 14. These are reports. Again, air pollution. You'll find data for every theme in environment, which is applicable to all GS papers. You'll have to have some short notes like this. Clear? Okay, next we'll go security. Security, low hanging fruit. You can maximize your score in security. Very important, do your PYQs. There are very little themes in security. You'll have terrorism, Naxalism, cyber security questions. So maximum, I think 5 themes can be identified, security. Practice 1 question from each theme. Terrorism, practice 1 question. Practice a 15-marker question. Again, Naxalism, practice a 15-marker question. If you do this, you'll be at least partially be able to address the question. Security, you will have to put in current-oriented aspects in your answer copy. This is how you will be able to create a connect between your answer copy and the evaluator. I did not have notes for my security because I had to write mains in my first attempt. I did not have prepared notes. I used Mridul Shivhare sir's notes available on his Telegram channel. Please look at his notes, beautifully written. There is, I think if you refer to this, you only need to do value additions to it. Comprehensive, in a descriptive manner, he has written it. Please take a printout of Mridul Shivhare sir's notes on security. I did my newspapers well. And then mains 365, security selectively. Answer copy, look at Gigi's answer copy. It's available on your Google. Gigi has written it beautifully. Okay. Okay, see, this is how I made online notes for security. Warfare, these are the keywords. Unconventional warfare, psychological influencing, gray zone warfare. By this, I'm telling the evaluators, this is a security answer. See, I put the keywords. Terrorism, I told you current affairs is important. In my introduction, maybe I used to put this recent terrorist attack in J&K on these regions, so that a connect is created between the evaluator and my answer copy. Facts again, and a diagram if possible. If there is a question on terrorism in India, maybe I'll draw this diagram and put the regions, Poonch, Doda, Kathua and all. I used to mark it. The internal security threats, you'll find keywords: narco-terrorism, drone attack, techno-radicalization, urban Naxalism, cyber kidnapping. Keywords, write it. Every subject has its own keywords. Put it in your answers. Committee for internal security threats. See, urban Naxalism, I've quoted current examples. All of us were aware of Rameshwaram cafe attack. If there is a question on terrorism this year, you'll put the attacks on the terrorists that happened in J&K. You'll put those examples so that you're telling the evaluator, see, there is something that you also know, I also know. And that is how the evaluator is interested to read your answers. Okay, security is done. Disaster management, again, very easy to prepare. Maximum 2 days, you can make disaster management notes. If you do not have notes, again, Mridul Sir's notes for disaster management, I have used the same notes. Newspaper means 365, again selectively. Toppers answer copies, I did not use any for disaster management. But in disaster management, because it has its overlap on geography and your environment, diagrams, illustrations, flowcharts becomes very important. Case study also. Say suppose there's a question on landslide. Can we write a case study of what happened in Wayanad recently, the landslide that happened last year or last year, if I don't remember? You'll put case studies like that, which all of us are aware of, but we ignore easily. Put those examples. Again, the same advice, PYQ is very important. One question from each theme needs to be prepared. Case studies and diagrams, I've told you. Science and tech. I did not do much for science and tech because again, very little questions, 1-2 questions, and general irutte, science and tech. I refer to means 365 science and tech copy selectively again. I was able to do my science and tech easily because I don't know, I used to put some scientific terms and finish my 15 markers, 10 markers. Science and tech, I think mains 365 is nice. Okay, now most important, GS4. There is a different approach to attempt GS4. Okay. So GS4, we understand we have part A, part B. Part B is your case study. 3 hours paper, 1.5 hour each. Part A, 1.5 hour. Part B. But my friends, in case studies, no, there is no scope to improve your marks. There is no scope for maximization of marks because all of us at the end of the day, we are writing the same content. But your marks maximization can happen in your part A. So address your part A very properly and nicely. Put efforts in your part A. In part A, generally we have 3 quote-based questions. And it is very, very difficult to complete your GS4 paper. Very, very difficult. You will have to practice answer writing. See, in part A, we have 3 quote-based questions. So, as I told you, marks maximization can happen only in your part A. So, I used to start from part A, 1, 2, 3, 4, I used to start doing it. But as I told you, that's 3 quote-based questions. Quote-based questions are very easier to attempt. And you can easily fill 2 pages. In ethics paper, you do not have 15 markers. You have 10 markers. You have to fill one page and the other page. So in quote-based question, it's easier to fill. So in 15 minutes, I used to do my part A except the 3 quote-based question. I used to keep it for the end. And then I used to go for part B, do all the case studies, and 1 second. Yeah. So after doing this part A, I used to do my case studies. And GS4 is a very lengthy paper. Time sigala, irrespective of how much practice you have done. At the end, I used to be left with 10 minutes across my 2 attempts, which I've done very nicely. 10 minutes, easily you can write the code-based question. And in your GS4, all GS1, 2, 3, I used to write in point-wise format. GS4, you can mix point-wise as well as paragraph. This liberty is there in GS4. So if we are going for paragraph, you can fill your 3 code-based questions very easily. See, another trick is, if you have less time, increase your handwriting size, more gap between words, gap between 2 sentences. That is how you fill page. Do not do this for all answers. Whenever there's time crunch and you have to write, say suppose 1 question, 2 questions, then do it. Otherwise, don't do it. Evaluator will identify. These are my sources, class notes, Shubham Kumar Sir's notes, available on his Telegram channel, very nice. Animesh Pradhan Sir's notes, again available on Telegram channel, Mehak Jain ma'am's notes. And, Please look at Uma Harti ma'am's answer copy, GS4. Beautifully written. I have pasted many quotes from her answer copy. Very nicely written, part A and part B. Uma Harti ma'am, Aditya sir's answer copy also, Garima ma'am's and Shruti Sharma ma'am's part B especially, case studies. Noted the names. I'll move. Okay. See, part A, no? Value additions, how do you do it? Examples, illustrations, I'll show it to you. Generally, ethical school of thought, we do is utilitarianism, J.S. Mill, some common name is there. All of us are writing the same names. But, swalpa Google Madi, use ChatGPT, find new ethical school of thought pertaining to ethics. These were some school of thoughts that I found. And I used to also use quotes. For again, every keyword in your ethics paper, you'll have to have a definition and example ready. 1 theme, 2, 3 examples minimum for ethics. These are, it's not visible, I suppose. These are some examples. Say suppose there's question on CSR. I have Access, they'll say initiative by Axis Bank, Coal India initiative, FedEx dene there, Bill Gates initiative. Every theme, no, you'll have to do something like this. I did this on Word, MS Word. You'll also have to do it. Find examples. Do not write the same examples. Find unique examples. You'll find it. Google News early, newspaper early, something in newspaper. You'll find examples. Make a separate copy like this. Put your keyword, put your examples. See, there is also ethical leadership and selflessness. Okay? Last time when India won the T20 World Cup, Rahul Dravid refused additional 2.5 crore which was offered to him as a coach. That can be an example for ethical leadership. Put it. Make a note of it. See, this is the question. See, diagrams. This is question on corporate governance. I copied this from Google. Use your internet wisely. This is a question on corruption. I started it with a quote. This I've copied from some best answer copy. Whatever I've done is I've either copied it from toppers or best answer copies. Do it, it'll work for you. This is a question on integrity. A diagram there. This is what will make your answers unique than others. Put your diagram, put your quotes, put your illustrations. Make your answer a little fancier than others. It'll fetch you marks. Coming to part B. Part B, as I said, please go through Shruti Sharma mom's answer copy. Part B, how do we do? We have intro. Aita. Adnantara, we write stakeholders. Most of us do it. And then we address the question. It is generally merits, demerits, anta. And then which option are we choosing? Reason, why we are choosing it, and then conclusion. This is the broader framework for case study. All of us know it. I borrowed Garima ma'am's strategy. Ma'am did not write stakeholders for all questions. I also did not write stakeholders for all questions. Some question, instead of stakeholder, I used to write special circumstances. For example, there was a question, something previous year question, that there is a landslide that has happened, and a pregnant lady, she's hurt, and we have to do blood transfusion, but we have not checked the blood group. Are we willing to take the risk there? Without checking the blood group, are we going to do the blood transfusion? Because it has its own consequences. What do we do there, Anta? Instead of writing stakeholders, I used to do something like this. Special circumstance. In this, it is a difficult terrain. And landslide agide. Help, you cannot get it in 10-15 minutes. It's not like urban area. Even reaching a blood bank will become very difficult. You have terrain, and this is a pregnant woman who is hurt. So again, we are risking both the mother's life and the baby's life. These are some special circumstances. Instead of stakeholders, I used to do this. So something different from others' copies. Maybe others are doing stakeholders. I'm doing special circumstances. And in questions where I did not have enough content to write, I used to do stakeholders. I used to do the sun diagram, stakeholders, itara, and identify the stakeholders. If you do not have content, do stakeholders. If you have no, you can easily skip it because they are not asking it in the question. There is no need to do stakeholders. Again, demerits, merits, and see, after doing your options, you have to identify some 3 options and you'll have to choose one option from it. For reason, I used to generally use a quotation or a quote. I used to write the quotation and then give the justification from it. And again, what you did in your part A, where you identified different ethical school of thought, use the same school of thought in your part B, in your case study also, and then write your conclusion. Another thing which I copied from Aditya Sir's strategy is, Sir linked the case study to a real life incident. If you see his answer copy for GS4, you'll easily identify this. There was a question this year about police officers arresting a most wanted Naxal. But what happened is that women from the Naxal area, they came and they safeguarded the Naxal leader. In this situation, are you willing to shoot the people or are you foregoing the Naxal leader. I'll arrest him later, Anta. What will you do was the question. So I said, ideally, I would not shoot because these are innocent women. I cannot shoot them. Even after many efforts, after great difficulty, I've captured Naxal leader. I'm foregoing that opportunity. Maybe I'll capture him later, Anta. This is what I wrote. Suddenly, I used to make Itara box. And here, I gave an example of Kandahar flight hijack. Something similar happened. We had to release the terrorists because our civilians were trapped there. Something similar. So I used to link. If you do this, something different from others' paper, you will be rewarded. So I used to do this. Try and find some commonality between the case study and a real life incident. We clear here? Part B understood? Okay, doubts. Again, any language, 5 languages, please ask doubts. Do not hesitate. Kannada is fine, Hindi is fine, English is fine, any language. Do we have doubts? GS4, GS3? No doubts? We'll go to essay. Paper where you get marks. Essay. From my first attempt to my third attempt, I have 41 marks increase. Between after my first attempt, I was given some 85 marks or something. This attempt 126, something like that. I'll tell you how I did it. Essay. In the market, we find a mechanical approach to write essay. Pestle approach anta. I don't know if you guys know it. Gottidya? Pestle ande finding dimensions very easy. Polity, economy, society, technology anta. Dayavittu idna madbedi. Do not do it. I did this in my first attempt. I was given 85 marks. Do not do it. Big no. Essay, ideally, you'll have your some introduction. Could be your anecdote, story, something. Some also do poetry. Okay. And then comes your connector. Thesis statement anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು engineering ಅಲ್ಲಿ, where you say my essay has this and this dimension anta. So this is a connector, and then body will have dimensions, and then conclusion. Conclusion, if you have started with anecdote, I used to start with an anecdote, connect the anecdote. Connect it in the conclusion. This is the template, essay ge. Body, how do you identify dimensions? Simple, very simple. Brainstorming, do it on these lines. Why, what, where, why not, how not, when. If you ask questions relating to the topic that you've selected, if you ask these questions, you'll be easily able to find dimensions. In essay paper, there is a misconception that we have to write many examples, Anta. More than examples, it is the argument that you make which will fetch you marks. Argument and then simple examples. How do we find examples? Again, from polity, society, economy, but do not write it evidently. In the political sphere, this and this example. In the economic sphere, we have this and this example. Do not do it. Do not use the words political, economical, social, anta, but you can use the examples. Okay. Understood how to find the dimensions and what I did different this attempt. I have not done my fancy education, very basic school. So my English is manageable. I do not have good English. So from my newspaper or YouTube videos, or when I'm looking at news, you get to learn many new English words, some fancy words. I used to make a PDF. I used to make it online. So I used to write those terms. I do not have a screenshot, otherwise I would have shown it. Some fancy words, I used to put it in a different document. If there was a possibility to use it, I used to put these words in my essay copy so that swalpa scholarly touch barutte anta. So this is what I did for my English, the way I wrote. And then I used ChatGPT. I used ChatGPT for my essay. That is how I increased marks. I used to write the essay. Otherwise, I used to give the same question to ChatGPT. I used to customize the question. I used to ask ChatGPT that I need an anecdote in the introduction. Conclusion, I want you to connect it with the topic, connect it to the anecdote. Bodily, I need these dimensions with arguments and examples. And I would want the essay to be emotional. I customized this, gave it to ChatGPT. I used to tell it ಇಷ್ಟಿಷ್ಟು words ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದು ಕೊಡು ಅಂತ. It used to give me. Then I used to copy and try to replicate the same way in my practice essays. This is how I increase my marks. Please use ChatGPT, it works, but use it wisely. If you have, say some, for example, there's some example or quotation, cross-verify it with the Google, because again, some wrong data also ChatGPT is giving. So this is how I did my essay paper. Apart from this, yeah, just this, I suppose. Any questions from essay? Essay, any questions? And while choosing topics, there we have many people. This is the topic that most of us will not write. So I'll choose this topic, even if I'm uncomfortable writing it. Do not do it. Choose the topics where you find many dimensions and where you are comfortable writing it. The more easier the essay is to understand, more marks you will get. Understood? Do not take unnecessary risk in UPSC. Choose the topic which you are comfortable writing. Okay, this is about essay. Any doubts from essay? Okay. That is all. Thank you. Any doubts? If you guys have doubts, yeah. Essay notes, Allah. You see, one you can. Oh, wait. I think I have. Okay. I'll see if I have. See. These are not notes. These are examples borrowed from toppers' essay copies. This is some poetry. Look at toppers' answer copies, your notes will be done. See, this is how you note down. You'll find quotes also. If you do this, you'll find many stories, many examples. This you'll use in your essay. And more organic and flowy your essay is, you'll get marks. See, this is a story of Michael Jordan. If the question has something to do with failures in life, I used to use this example. I've missed 9,000 shots, lost 300 games, 26 times I have been trusted to take the final shot and I failed. That is why I succeeded. This either used to be my conclusion or somewhere in between the body, I used to put this example. You'll have to find such examples and stories from your Google, maybe your toppers answer copies. Toppers answer copies, more than sufficient. Do some 10, 25 toppers answer copy. Go through it. Your essay notes will be done. Clear? Any doubts? Any other doubts? Online question. Yeah. Regarding my notes, unfortunately, I do not have proper notes. My notes are helter-skelter, so Notes I'll not be able to give, but you can refer to other toppers' notes. Yeah, there is topper called Nandana GP. She has a Telegram channel. She is posting all her notes. Please join her Telegram channel, Nandana GP. And very beautiful notes. You can directly refer to it. Do we have to prepare notes first? Yes, you will have to prepare notes first and then do your answer writing practice. Without notes, we cannot do answer writing practice. First, prepare your notes. Then, while making your notes, no, ideally before making notes, go through your previous year questions. Identify themes based on your previous year questions. Start making notes because that would be time saving and more rational and logical. So after looking at your PYQs, do your notes and then do your answer writing practice. Answer writing practice is quintessential between your prelims and mains. Has to be done. Prelims, there is no analysis. Mains will have to do analysis. Prelims is your conceptual clarity and your facts. I refer to the same sources. My standard books were the same, but my conceptual understanding were better for prelims. And for prelims, do your mock tests. You'll identify a range of questions. For me, it was 85 to 90 questions. If I attempted between 85 to 90 questions, my marks used to maximize. If I shooted up and above 90, my negatives would be more than my positives, and I used to score on the lower end. So identify this range, practice it, do your PYQs, again, very important for prelims. PYQs, not just the question, but also the options. Options also you'll have to delve a little deeper and understand about the options. That is how you do your PYQs. Other than that, my standard books were same. Just the approach of prelims and mains is different. Mains, it's answer writing. It's not just mental work, but also your physical work. Because you have to write 3 hours and then 3 hours. So mains is a little different. Analysis, critical examination, but your prelims is your objectivity. Not really. As in, the notes are same, but the approach is different. See, you'll study Lakshmikant for your prelims also, mains also. But for prelims, say suppose they are asking you about Article 21. What is it? Something about Article 20. It is a fact. But will they ask you the same question in mains? Will they ask you elaborate Article 21? No. They'll give you some dimension of Article 21, and then you'll have to do an analysis on it. That is how it's different. Otherwise, it's the same. Approach is different. Books, material, everything is same. Any more questions? Yeah. Revision strategy for mains, I generally did paper-wise. First, I used to do GS1, all my subject, and then I used to give a test. Then I used to go to GS2, all my subjects, test, and after GS4, I used to come back to GS1. See, the thing is, with me, it's a little different because in my first attempt, I reached interview. Again, I was in the cycle prelims mains interview. Again, cycle prelims mains interview. I did not have time for answer writing practice. I did answer writing between prelims and mains. So that is how I did not do 4 questions every day. I used to write on the full length test. But if you have a chance to prepare for mains, do 4 questions every day. You can go with subject wise. Say suppose you've done your GS1. Write 2 questions from history, 1 question from society, 1 question from geography. And then do this, suppose do this for 10 days, GS1 you'll do almost all PYQs and then go to GS2, do the same thing. That is how you do your revision. I had joined for MGP Forum IAS test series for my mains, and I had written, I think, 3 sets of full lengths. GS1 and the 3 paper, GS2 3 papers. And apart from that, I also wrote Abhyas for mains. So in total 4 sets of GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. As in? No, first, this is MGP is you can write anytime. But Abhyas is a simulation of what happens in the final exam day. So Abhyas alle hog baribeku. This MGP I used to do whenever I did my revision. After that, I used to write the test at my own convenience. Public administration, I've scored very badly. All my 3 attempts, 250 only. I'm not able to increase my marks, but my sources were there's Prasad and Prasad for Thinkers, and Aribam book for paper 1 and paper 2, Rajni Goyal for paper 2, and Mohit Bhattacharya for paper 1. These were my sources. And you have to also go through Karishma Nayar's ma'am answer copy, Nupur Goyal ma'am's answer copy, Mehak Ji ma'am's answer copy. Yeah. Any more questions? Newspaper. Newspaper, news, prelims, mains 365 you'll have, no? They have your current affairs there. But do your newspapers diligently. Mains 365. Yeah. Evaluation of daily answers. I did not do it. See, evaluation, no, rather than going, if you have written one mains at least, you are the best judge. Do your evaluation on your own. But if you do not have an evaluator, show it to any person who has written mains. Chandra you will find many people who have written mains. Go to them and ask him or her to correct your answers and let you know what additional things can be done. If you do not have access to a person who has written mains also, look at your topper's answer copy. Practice the same question. After you have written, see what topper has written. How is it different? That is how you do your evaluation. I did not do any website, etc. I'm not aware also. You can do it, but I think the cost to benefit ratio is very low. Just do your syllabus well. Know what is there in the syllabus. And then start reading your newspaper. Do not invest more than 1 hour on your newspaper. Cost to benefit ratio is very low. But if you know your syllabus well, you can map your newspaper to your syllabus. You'll identify this is something which I can use in my GS3. This is something I can use as an example in my GS4. That is how you do your newspaper. Newspaper analysis, I don't think so. If you're a newbie in UPSC preparation, then maybe you can look at it. There's one from Rouse DNS. So that is nice, newspaper analysis. I don't know. Yeah. Any more questions? Questions? Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, for this, answer writing practice becomes important. Before my mains, I used to do the simulation at home 2 days before my mains. I used to write 2 papers every day. Apart from that, as I told you, I also wrote my Abhyas mains. So Abhyas is direct simulation of your main examination. Even in Abhyas, you have to write 2 papers every day. Again, consecutive day. First day you'll have 1 and 2. Next day you'll have 3 and 4. So if you have this practice, you can do it aram se on your main exam day. Any other questions? Short notes ideally should be done 1 month before your mains examination. Real examination munche 1 month, have your short notes, skim through it. Because see, in the end, you'll only be writing tests and exams. So if you just go through your short notes, start writing tests. Give as many tests as possible before your mains. Short notes are very important if you're going to write mains, because it is not possible to read your textbooks and notebooks. All of the notebooks are bulky. So short notes will be helpful in managing time. Short notes has to be short. You should only have keywords, whatever you forget or some example that you want to put it in your paper, just note that down. Do not write all your points in your short notes. Then it is not short notes, it is your notes. Any more questions? No questions? Thank you for bearing with me. You've been very patient and kind. Thank you so much. Thank you. All the best.